Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is going on? Another day, another you, another me, and potentially also another year. The New Year's resolution is to get good at Age Mythology Retold. I love that one. That's exactly what it should be. No more balance complaints, only skill diff and pushing to the moon. On the right-hand corner of the map, in the blue color, playing as Frere. His name is Sorry. He is very apologetic because he is going to be jumping into our game here as the Frere player, and he's going to be somewhat happy. And he's up against the Nightmare. That is Uranus. One of the very, very strong gods against Uranus is going to be that Frere, and will always be that Frere. So we'll see how things are going to go. We are on the map Key, and this is Troll Pack. I'm not actually sure who Troll Pack is, apart from Troll Pack. I think this might just be the guy. I don't know if he's got another name. He's from Chile. I don't know if he's got another name, but he's 1950 and currently ranked 28 with a high of rank 20. So kind of a really, really strong player. Sorry's also been featured on this channel a few times over the past year or so. He's a very, very powerful, talented Norse player. And he's got that Frere here. So we'll see how things are going to go. He has grabbed himself already pickaxe, got that third dwarf out. Generally, you do see hand axe coming in here, but some players prefer to get the temple down a little bit quicker. We have a little quick look-see at the cow differential right now. Sorry has found himself 14 cows as he steals 2 away from Sorry. Nice one there from Troll Pack. But yeah, Sorry here, he's only got 6. Which does hurt. This is a really, really big, important part about playing Frere, is to have a lot of food in your main base, because you don't really want to move out onto this hunt. You'd rather be focusing everything onto getting a town center with a relatively close gold mine nearby and a hill fort here. But against Uranus, you do actually have to place your hill fort in your main base. This is very, very important for your success as Frere. If you don't go for the hill fort in the main base, then you have to make sure that you've got the position walled up where you want to put your hill fort, because otherwise the Uranus player can run in and then shockwave, carnivora, and absolutely murder you on that hill fort wherever it is, and they most likely will spot it. But Troll Pack, for the time being, he's got to be super happy about this. This is 14 cows. It's an absolutely absurd amount of cows for your main base here. So he's going to be really enjoying that. He's also going for something a little bit wild. I haven't seen this type of idea be super successful. I don't generally think it's a good idea to do this because it hits your economy really, really hard early on, where realistically the only real weakness we've got in this matchup is getting hit super early on. Of course, you know, maybe this is a sort of counter idea. Get the sky passage forward, and then we can start pushing in to hit this position here and here and preventing any sort of town center or aggressive early hill fort. But generally, that's not going to be a problem all too much. That being said, the Berserk is after this Oracle, and with the sky passage getting up, there's not really going to be a whole lot of issues here. There's a sky passage in the main base as well, as we'll see a mana coming through, and I imagine it's going to be a military barracks, but for the moment here, Troll Pack cannot afford that one just yet. And I am seeing everyone in the chat, Happy New Year's to everyone and all the people involved in Age Mythology 2025. I do send my love, thanks, and all the other good stuff. But yeah, it's what a time to be alive is the name of 2026, or the theme of 2026. At least that's what we're going to go with. Meanwhile, husbandry to come through here for our main man. Sorry, he still doesn't have that hand axe in, which does... I'm a little bit confused about it. I definitely think the hand axe is super important. He doesn't have an ox cart down for these villages either, so there's a lot of lost resources here. It does allow him to maybe get out an extra Herser earlier on than he otherwise might have, but it is hurting him for later. So we'll see how it's going to go. I think it's totally fine to go for this type of idea, but you do need to find some sort of usage for these early units. We're not going to be seeing a Great Hall and a Longhouse, and no early fortress. So this does open up a lot of opportunity for Troll Pack to get things done here in the mid game. For example, he can very happily be building Corvallis because he knows his opponent doesn't yet have himself access to Huskal. So he can utilize the forward sky patches that he's got up here now to sort of control this area beautifully. He might even want to go for an extra sky passage forward here because there's, I mean, of course, the left of the map is another area, but if Sorry grabs this gold mine with a hill fort, I actually don't mind that too much as the Oranos. So long as he doesn't take a town center, this one or this one, I'm super happy. So that's one thing to keep in the back of your mind. There is a comment about a potential Boit's Backyard Bash free-for-all tournament coming up. I don't have anything to announce yet, but things are in planning stages. At the very least in my brain. I have to get something done for January, and that is one of the options. So we'll see what happens. We are really right in the middle of January, so I do have to get myself going. But nonetheless, a couple of Murmillos to come in here, and they do spot some villagers moving forward as Sorry gets hit hard here. A shockwave would not go astray, and he does drop that one down. Carnivore getting dropped in, but those Hersa can turn around and take that out very quickly. One villager goes down. A second villager looking to go down as well. That's two villagers down, and the Hero Murmillos can get out of here. The Caladria, though, gets sniped. That's a big pick there for Sorry as Troll Pack gets out of there, but ouch. That was mad damage there. Of course, shockwave down and a usage of a shockwave for 2 villager kills. Not the highest amount of value. Carnivore are also down there, so double god powers for 2 villager kills. But this is a big advantage to now start building on moving forward. Oracle's starting to move out as well, already up to 5, as Troll Pack will be very, very aware that he actually does need to go quickly up to 35 favor for an extra usage here, as more Hero Murmillos getting converted in. Sorry, he really needs this hill fort. I can't stress this enough. It's a really, really important part of this matchup to have Huskal, and as these Corvallis start coming through, that importance is going to become more and more apparent for Sorry. So we'll see what's going to happen here. But at these sort of stages, I'm not actually sure if Troll Pack has got the advantage here, because he now doesn't actually have himself. He does manage to pick off a raiding cavalry, or almost pick off a raiding cavalry, but he doesn't have that shockwave. He doesn't have that carnivora. And technically speaking, Sorry should have a lot more units out here than he otherwise does. As the raiding cavalry circle in here, they do manage to spot one Corvallis out in the middle of nowhere as a Gullenbursty gets called upon, and that's going to be enough to take out 2 Corvallis, but that's a big, big win here for our man Troll Pack. Gets out the Gullenbursty. Now he doesn't have to care so much about a second town center for that second gold mine. He can actually give that away completely. Retreat, get himself upgraded, full send here in the classical age with like 10 Caladria plus even more oracles, and it's going to be a tough one here for Sorry to get out of his base, get himself that gold mine, because it will be expiring soon. He's got 500 gold left. He does have 800 in the bank here, 900 in the bank here. The only other thing here from Troll Pack, which is really missing for the moment, is actually more than one thing. He definitely does need a couple more military buildings, but the most important thing is that Sky Passage now needs to be creeping up to the top side here, as we do have the Asgardian Hill Fort coming down, and in like clockwork here, 35 favor is all he needed. He's up to 40, so he will be able to make a push in and look to deny this Asgardian Hill Fort, but Troll Pack doesn't see it. He's got no idea. His unit's somewhat out of position, not close to the sky passages here. And the hill fort is shooting up. 28 seconds remaining as the villagers chasing these guys away. Troll Pack does actually see the hill fort as well. So he needs to get in here. He needs to get at least some damage done, because this hill fort coming up means lots of problems for the Oranos, and on the fact that it's on this gold mine there as well. That's a big issue, as the Murmillos trying to beat down this hill fort. 2 seconds remaining. It's not going to be enough. And sorry, will very much be able to take this position, hold this here, and Trollpack needs to get out of here. It very much looks like he's overstaying. He's got a huge amount of resources in the bank to be trying to make an attack like this work, as he's losing a lot of units here underneath the hill fort. Pulls back now, and now where to? It's not the end of the world. Like I said, like even securing the second gold mine for Sorry is not like some sort of automatic win condition here for Frere. Normally the big pain that Oranos has to face is going to be some sort of second town center plus the hill fort coming down with Gullimbursty plus Tempest and all of this stuff coming through to amalgamate into just a gigantic power spike. And then from there, it's just zoom straight to the late game where Oranos is not going to be able to compete with the Frere. But in this situation, there's no zooming. Like, Trollpack, Oranos should just simply have more economy and be able to continue to control the map and play around, just simply put a Tempest by utilizing Sky Passages really well. Also Chaos as an idea there too, as this Hero Oracle does get spotted. The Murmillos here are after this. I don't know why I went American for a second there, but the Murmillos are after this. This is a completely fine trade. You lose an Oracle hero for 3 raiding cavalry, or 2 raiding cavalry and a half. That's not terrible at all. As that one's going to be pulling back. Do we see any of those Huskal I was talking about? You do have to kind of scout to some degree, and I think Trollpack here is going to be really smart. He sees the hill fort and goes, all right, I know I can't really build Carabalister anymore. They lose all their value when Huskal come into the equation, right? We need to figure out a different way to break this Norse army. He's got 3. So what Trollpack probably wants here is no more... Sorry, not Trollpack. Sorry wants now here is no more raiding cavalry. So he is still building them. And just maybe 3-ish Huskal per Carabalister. 2-ish Huskal per Carabalister here. And then that's going to be more than enough for him to deal with everything. Trollpack here is going to be giving up some of the map back over to Sorry, and he wants to get to the Heroic Age. Makes a lot of sense. Satyr are really good. Chaos is really good. Hero units with that Heroic Renewal is really good. We do see a Sky Passage over onto this side, and the map key is perfect for this type of just move around the map. Generally, the Norse has got the advantage here, but because it's Oranos, you're going to be in for an amazing time just moving left, right, above, around, beyond, and all the other good stuff. As the Sky Passage does come through. And, I mean, there's also room for the Serra to get grabbed here. You can also defend a little bit, run back, drop the Shockwave and the Carnivora. But for now, our main man Trollpack is on the spammage of Murmillos. Sorry's got to be happy, though. Like, he's gotten through the worst of it. He's just missing his big power spike with that Gullimbursty in the Heroic Age. So that just means he has to play a little bit more careful, a little bit slower, and effectively just make sure he's getting his units out and playing a nice defensive game and raiding and getting value and all the other good stuff. That's managed to pick a guy for just 1 unit loss. No unit losses. He managed to pick 1 Oracle for 0 raiding cavalry losses there. Really nice. Slowing down that favor income. But realistically here, Trollpack should almost be building these guys non-stop. And I've seen this maybe once or twice, but a second temple as you're going to the Heroic Age here, it's not a terrible idea. 1 temple to be spamming out the Satyr and 1 temple just to be getting yourself to 10 Oracles is a perfectly valid way to go. As we do see now, the town center is up for Sorry. He's going Heroic Age. He's just in a good position here. This is just what you want in these sorts of spots. As heavy infantry coming through, we got the bow sword, we got the pickaxe as well for Trollpack to get in all of those upgrades. So the top side here, just chasing those raiding cavalry away. It is so difficult to raid Oranos, especially when they have the Sky Passages set up like this. You can kind of pop through them and be very, very quickly defending your opponent's raids, but we're not actually seeing this here from Trollpack, unfortunately. If you can just pop through, you can, like from this one over to here, you can be in front and cutting off. He's doing it up onto this side now, so that'll at least be a little bit of damage onto Sorry's raiding cavalry. But at the moment, the big question is, does Trollpack really know what is coming for him? Because he hasn't seen this town center. He does see the heroic age. But he is waiting a little bit, and he's not taking map control. He's not grabbing town centers, and he's just going for full myth units. His economy is not town center based. It's going to be favor based. He's going for more so for oracles than he is for actual economy, which is a valid approach for a little bit, but it will fall off. So he does need to get a lot of value out of these satyrs. Whereas, sorry, he's very smartly just pumped out a bunch of Goaty. He's up to 5 here, which probably isn't enough considering the amount of satyr that are going to be coming. But he doesn't know that just yet. And he can build them out whenever he really wants. But the real hard part here is the fact that the Goaty has only got 17 range, sits at the back of the army, and the Satyr also has got 18 range, and sort of sits at the back of the army as well. So you have to control the Goaty separately to the rest of your army, such that the Goaty are actually wedged up to the very front, or if not in the front of your army, ready to start hitting those satyr before they can even get in and shoot off that brutal special ability. Up to the top side here, those Murmillos at 5.3 speed are back in action, getting some villager picks. This is really, really helpful because it gives the timing, or it lengthens the amount of time here that Trollpack has to get a huge amount of value out of his favor play. Still is missing those 7, 8, 9, 10 oracles, those 4 oracles, which is hurting him a little bit here, I'd say. But nonetheless, slowly making his way forward. He does have to basically retreat from the Tempest to some degree here as well. But I think the one positive or huge positive here for Trollpack right now is that Sorry has not read that he needs some Huskarl here. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I think he would be very happy with 10 Huskarl in his army to be taking this out. There's a huge amount of gold in the bank here for Sorry as well, of which he could probably throw a market down, buy food, get himself to the Mythic Age, potentially through hell just to take out that back line while he can deal with everything else. But Vidar is never a bad idea either. But nonetheless, Chaos getting dropped down onto those throwing axemen as they take everyone out there. There's the Tempest to come down as well. As Trollpack says, yeah, no worries. Let's get out of here. I don't need to hang out in this Tempest. We traded our Heroic Age God Power for opponents of Heroic Age God Power, and now it costs a quarter the cost of it. So let's get back and we can start thinking about fighting afterwards, as now it's finishing up. He can charge back in with the rest of his units. Those Carabalis are going to town on the Herso there as the Rock Giant does end up going down. Town Center over onto the left now coming up for Trollpack, so he's going to be able to keep himself competitive, economically speaking. He's picked off a lot of villages here, so this second Town Center is not really put Sorry in front. 56 to 68 is maybe it's a slight advantage for the Norse player, just on the fact that the Aranos economy has got a hard set point at which you stop getting in front, right? You get to 100, you can no longer get any further in front. And those villages are only worth, say, like 1.5-ish. Maybe it's a little bit more because there's no walking time, so 1.7-ish of a Norse villager, of a Greek villager. But Trollpack pushing forward here does push our main Sorry back into his main base. Sorry's got the resources for a Mythic Age here. He's now going in for a whole bunch of Jarls, however, throwing axemen. And he will be losing this position, as there's just not enough units to be defending the hill fort. And then the Goaty, he needs to keep those Goaty alive for when he actually has some real units. As the Jarls come onto the back line here, taking down the heavy Corabalister, the Trollpack in an absolutely amazing position right now. Meanwhile, Helios to come through. That's an interesting pickup here. Oh, okay. He does change it over to Hecate. I was going to say, Helios is like absolutely wild. Because Hecate, you drop the Tartarian Gate in the main base, and then you just push over onto the right while you secure the whole entirety of the left side. And then what does Sorry do to be able to defend everything happening? But we are going to be seeing hell come through, and maybe the way to defend everything happening is to get a couple Fire Giants out with that 135 favor and 960 gold. There are a whole bunch of Hero Mamillos, though. But both players have lost a lot of population after all of this attacking. The only thing is that Troll Pack has managed to get himself even further in front on the villager difference. 30 to 50 where it was once... Oh, sorry. 80 to 50 with a 30 difference there where I think it was once looking like it was about 15 pop difference. Maybe even less. Maybe a 10 pop difference. Nonetheless, Troll Pack pulling back. He's got... How many of these does he have at the moment? He does have his 4 Sky Passages up, but they're not placed all too well. This is the most important part about playing Uranus, is where you place Sky Passages. Like, having the Sky Passage here, maybe one in the middle, one up onto the top here, and then one sort of in your base so that you can quickly whip to defend or to attack or whatever is the best way in the Heroic Age to go about it. We do see double palaces over onto this top side as well. That's going to be options for destroyers, which you don't really want versus Norse. It's like one of the few... I think it might be the only civ where you don't want to build a unit as Atlantean. Like, that destroyer is just not very good in this matchup. But you can make fire siphons and they're really, really strong, or you can get behemoths out and they're really strong too at taking down the buildings. As the Asgardian Hillfort gets denied here, Heroic Age does come through, but no units have been sent into that main base to drop the Tartarian gate. Then here's where you'll see these destroyers really not functional too well. The reason is the throw-in action is dealing hack damage and has bonus damage versus infantry, so it's effectively just erasing the destroyers way, way faster than everyone else will. Of course, you could like say the same thing for, say, Hypaspis can take down a destroyer really quickly as well, but the problem is with the Hypaspis that you can actually snipe the Hypaspis as the Uranus player with Arcus or with Satyr or with Contarius, whatever. But the Tartarian Gate now in. Nidhogg plus a couple of Fire Giants to try and deal with this Tartarian Gate. And Troll Pack has not managed to really get the value here. Like, this Tartarian Gate, to be honest, has not done anything. This is a super low value Tartarian Gate. Of course, he's made the Nidhogg drop onto this spot instead of drop straight onto the army, so that's kind of a good thing. But realistically, you want to be timing the Tartarian Gate with a push, and this was not done by Troll Pack. He has managed to give himself time here, though, which is good. He's going to be able to get himself out a whole bunch of heroes. He's up to 8 oracles as well, so that favor income is going to be nice and fast. He's also going through Hyperion, so all of these guys are going to be heroes. Does have to move some of them, it looks like, because they're overlapping a little bit. But I think he, rather than be safe rather than perfectly spread out at the moment. But we are going to be seeing that Mythic Rejuvenation tech coming through. There's also Celerity to help boost up the damage of these Satyr here. If you take a quick look at how much damage they're actually doing now. 32 pierce damage per second. That's a fair amount of pierce damage. But the actual unit that I think is really good in the majority of matchups when you go Hecate is that Lampede. Get that Lampede with the upgrade whenever your opponent is making units like the Jarl, like a Tiger Cav, like a like a Tyroi, a Myrmidon, like those types of units. As Chaos does get dropped down here as a secondary usage. The Satyr charging forward. You're getting a little bit too overzealous. The Hero of Oracles will be able to snipe down those Fire Giants on the back, but those Destroyers are going to get melted by the Throw-in Axeman and the Nidhogg, as Troll Pack is just not able to make head or shoulders of this army with what he had there. He just went full facepalm into that army, and his army got completely counted there. Like, if you've got destroyers, just set them where the Throw-in Axemen aren't. Like, from this position over to this position into the main base. Oh, the Throw-in Axemen are here. Okay, we'll swap back over to the other side and attack over here. That's one way to at least find some value. Just be where the Throw-in Axemen aren't and be taking buildings down. But nonetheless, now we're starting to see those Ballista coming through. And here's the really interesting position that we've gotten into, which is partly why I wanted to watch this game, was we've got a Hecate versus a Hell late game forming. Both players are going to have 3 town centers. Sorry here has got a very, very easy pathway, I think, to full population, but he really needs to stop taking these fights because he's not there yet. He needs full population economy. He needs a trade route. But the big thing here is there's no massive advantage because Sorry doesn't have Vidar. So there is an advantage of making like myth units and like fire giants and mountain giants and things like that, but the super units aren't here for Sorry. So we've got a really nice late game for Uranus with Hecate and with Hyperion and all of that stuff that comes mixed in with that, like hero units and the Lampedes. We don't have that for Sorry, but you also have the thing with Freyr having a really just inherently good late game in of itself, and Uranus not having that great of a late game. So it's almost like we're hitting a point where it's equal. Only difference is one player is very far in front on economy. But I don't think this matters in the slightest here. Both players got the same armory upgrades for some reason. Sorry, he's got the cheaper armor upgrades because he's playing Freyr. So even though the economy is really different here, I don't know if it matters. The only issue is gold, because this gold mine will be expiring soon. I mean, Sorry, you could try and move forward and secure this gold mine as well. But if Trollpack plays for that, I think he might be able to find the win on that position. Very safe players to just get that market up, get that trade route starting. Well, he's already got the trade route starting. There you go. So he's got 9 ox caravans. Get that trade route started into the main town center and play from there. That's the safe route. Also needs that 3rd town center up as well as Trollpack to pull back into the main base. He's still not making himself those... Well, he has a couple of fire siphons, I guess. But he's not really using them all too much here. As bronze weapons, bronze armor, iron shields as well now coming through for Trollpack on the other side. A very slow iron shields in for... Sorry, he does have 2 armories though. So he can get those armory upgrades in pretty quickly. He's making now the Huskal to try and deal with these champion Arcus. As the villagers make their way over onto this gold mine, and Trollpack says, no, not today, Sonny Jim. I see you there. Let me take down those villagers. And this is, and was not an option for Sorry at all in this spot. He's taken a huge risk, gets caught out. Fanatics are in. They're going to be amazing versus those Huskal. There's only a handful of thrown axemen as well to deal with all this as the so the Ballista here on the back are going to get targeted down by those Contarius, and the Arcus are going to be able to make mincemeat of everything else here. Untouched, huge damage, and Sorry's army does get obliterated here as Trollpack, he's just so far in front on military after everything has happened in this game, because Sorry just keeps on wanting to take these fights. So the main base over here, Fanatics going down for more units to come through as the Thrown Axemen are out. Whole bunch of Berserks getting trained through as well now for Sorry. But Trollpack, technically he can't finish this game unless he gets some siege in here, because he doesn't have like I mean, Lampedes are technically a siege weapon. They have crush armor, but he doesn't have like a crazy big siege myth unit he can just use to break through all this. He needs to get himself some siege here. But he keeps on just pumping units out, of which he really doesn't need like anymore. Like, just get rid of a handful of these Murmillo and get yourself like 4 fire siphons in here, and we're golden. Nonetheless, Trollpack is going to slam himself into this position again. If we take a quick look at what Sorry's got, he does have himself Masons, so these hill forts are going to be very helpful. He's also got himself that healing technology on top of the town center and hill forts, as well as the food income from that. Should bring that to attention. That's an extra 2-3 villages for the moment on food. As one hill fort goes down, Trollpack pulls back, says, I can't actually break through this amount of defenses here. Whether or not he can or not, I'm not actually sure. He's got plenty of income. Maybe he should just be slamming himself into that position. Now we see the palaces starting to come under construction here and making those units a fire siphon without any upgrades in just yet, as Trollpack's going to get himself that draft horses first, which is normally a technology that I think most players maybe they don't undervalue them, but they don't grab that technology very early on. Normally it's siege engineers first, and draft horses is one of those very, very late technologies you want to grab. It just gives speed over to the fire siphon, to the siege units, which, I mean, 3.5 speed is kind of quick, but not quicker than any of the other units out there, so it doesn't help a huge amount as chaos does get dropped down onto all of these units here, trying to delay the repair rate there as a Carnivora over onto this spot as well. Troll Pack seemingly in complete control here. Another shockwave does come down. He's got huge amounts of resources in the bank here as the town center goes down. The fire siphons will start targeting down these hill forts as that engineers comes through, and now that damage goes up even more as these fire siphons start feeling very, very powerful at the moment. Maybe Lampeter doesn't do crush. It does divine damage or something. So that's basically better than crush. Yeah, it does divine damage, so better than crush. Only 10 though. As the, or 10 per second. Compare that over to this 88. That's like, it's probably like 60 true damage. No, 70, 75 true damage or something. So these guys do a lot of damage. Anyways, Longhouse is going down, and sorry, he's trying to just hold on here. He's going to try and hold on until it's all over, because he's got a little bit of gold income, but he's just so far behind. He needs units, and he just can't get them out here. And he keeps on taking these fights. And if you want it, the only real way back into this game would be to pull back into your main base, get yourself a full population army with what, for whatever reason, can just beat your opponent's army. And then you just have to continue to beat it while you slowly take back the map. But Troll Pack in this one, just that little bit too good in this game. Both players making some pretty significant mistakes, but sorry, I think he just needed to play defense harder. He was fighting out here. He tried to sneak this gold mine unnecessary, get this position sorted, move forward with your army, get this position sorted, defend everything, and then he might have been able to force this game into like the ultra late game, which would have been very, very interesting here, because I don't see any sort of weakness for the Uranos in that position other than the fact that they've only got the one siege weapon with the fire siphon, whereas sorry can use potentially 2 with the baluster and the portable ram, but that's it. But nonetheless, Troll Pack manages to find the dub here with the Uranos. If you guys enjoyed this game, please make sure you hit the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.